All right, I should be live. Let me know if I am. Let me know if I'm not. Please tell me I am. Yep, I'm live. Okay, sweet.
The best thing.
All right. Make sure audio's good, and then I'll start answering some questions. Yep, I'm live. Okay. Yes, audio's good. Okay, awesome, dope. Okay, John Erickson, thank you. Thanks. Okay, let's get this started. No drinks tonight, just a big red here. All right, VA claims, veteran helping veterans. That's Miss Stephanie. Hey, thank you. I'm definitely looking forward to next week. So, to start this off, next week, Miss Stephanie is coming from VA Claims Veterans Helping Veterans. She has a Facebook group and a YouTube channel. And she also has some serious hardcore experience with military sexual trauma. And she's going to talk about her testimony and her story and then her journey on VA disability. I'm very much looking forward to that. And I think that's something that needs to be talked about. So, Stephanie, thank you for that. Thanks for coming. Appreciate it. B-Buck, hey, what's up? Hey, B-Buck, let me know what you decided on the volunteer side of the house. I definitely want to be a part of that. If you did decide to do that, let me know. I'd love to get with you, maybe help you out, learn the system, whatever you want. Okay. All right, Nayo, were you radio recon in Syria? No, I was not. I hung around those dudes just because of what we were doing out there. But no, I wasn't radio recon. I was actually psychological operations attached to 3-6, which was there to support 210 Fox, right? The RD up there. Then we did some other stuff. It was cool. All right. Chris Gutierrez, he said, I just want you to know I love you. Thank you for your service. Yeah, guys. Chris Gutierrez, we were in Okinawa together. He's a homie. What's up, Chris? Let me know if you're still out there in Hawaii. And I'm going back, by the way. I'm going back to Hawaii at some point. I will let you know off stream. Let me know if you're still in Hawaii, though. Okay, Vet all the way at the top here. How do you access Joint Legacy Viewer? I'm trying to review notes in reference to migraines via VA primary care. If you want to look at your, I'm not sure about the Joint Legacy Viewer, but I will say that absolutely go to Blue Button. You can get your VA medical records there. And if it's not on there, I assume that's from a long time ago. I think the best way to go about that is just to ask your VA primary care directly for those records. How long ago are you talking about, Vet? I assume you're talking like 20, 30 years ago. I'm not sure, but let me know how long you want to go back for. All right, B-Buck. Hey, okay, so everyone. Jimmy Elmore says, watching from Bossier City, Louisiana. I hope I said that right. Probably not. Bossier. Maybe it's a little French in there. Who knows? Yeah, Lou Vega. I'm the man. Hey, thanks. Thank you guys. Just so you know, ask me your VA questions without questions. There is no live. Okay. Nayo Lima 36. If you ever hung out at COC, I was Lance Cooley on the radio watch all the time. Oh, okay. Awesome. Cool. Were you in Syria, Nayo? If so, I'm trying to remember who you were. Were you with Artie in the COC? Or were you with, like, at Talil or KLZ or somewhere like that? Let me know. Let me know. If you were at Talil, I was the dude that put the speakers up that everyone got annoyed at, but whatever, they can get over it. Yeah, you were at Talil. Yeah. I assume so. That's cool. Cool, man. Small world. If I remember, Nayo. Oh, Super Haram. Oh, I love this dude's name. Super Haram. Yo, I was in Okie in 2008-ish. Yeah. That's definitely before my time. I came in 2010. I was in Okie. We did a UDP when I was in 2.9. And then we did I did a 31st Mu in 2018, I believe, before I got out. 2.9 was not a good time, but the Mu was a great time. Yeah, I wasn't Artie, though. I was just there with him. Okay, let me know your VA questions. I'll definitely do my best to answer them. But while we're waiting, I'll talk about something new I started doing, which was meeting veterans one-on-one. And so if you want a one-on-one meeting, I kind of added it down here. Just send me an email. I'll reply back with a calendar invite. We can schedule them that way. That's been going pretty good. That was kind of like my testing phase. And I learned a lot. And I will tell you guys this. The number one thing I've learned about putting hours every day to helping veterans has been, there's two types of veterans. There's veterans that are prepared and have evidence. And there's veterans that aren't prepared and don't have evidence, okay? And so you definitely want to be on the prepared and have evidence side. So if you're meeting with me or a VSO or anyone else, do your due diligence, have your evidence ready to go, and it makes life a lot easier, okay? MMVet, I did access Blue Button, and that's where it states C comments, Joint Legacy Viewer, treatment is current right now. VSO had no knowledge. If you're seeking treatment at the VA, I believe I would give it 30 days for that to show up in your Blue Button reports. But again, the fastest way is going to be talking directly to the VA healthcare provider, especially if you're seeing them concurrently. All right, here we go. Now we got, Jimmy Williams. No baby today, okay? I'll be honest with you. I don't really like streaming with the baby. It's a lot for me to juggle. But my wife and my newborn are down in Alabama right now. And so it's just me here by myself and my dog. I'll show you all my dog, though. Cooper, come here. He's in our little kid trampoline. I'll show the dog, and then we got some questions that popped up. I want you, my dog. Come here. This is my vicious, golden doodle. That's him. Hi, Cooper. Oh, my goodness. Okay. So that's the only baby I'm taking care of up to next week. Okay. Kevin Trotter. Ooh, he scratched my arm. Kevin Trotter says he's 90% disabled. Okay. I applied for TDIU in January. LHI sent me an email for a CMP exam scheduled in March. It's in-person appointment. The VA says I do not have to attend. What should I do? What do you mean by the VA says you don't have to attend? Let me know exactly what you mean by that, because that statement's weird because the VA pays for these exams. They don't just happen. The VA has to pay that contracting company for that exam. So more likely than not, the VA wants you to go. And so I just want you to clarify, the VA says I do not have to attend. What do you mean? How do they say it? What do you mean by that exactly? Let me know. Yeah, Stephanie, thanks. Anytime I say Stephanie, guys, that's VA Claims, Veterans Helping Veterans. Again, she has a YouTube channel. More importantly, she has a Facebook group, probably one of the best Facebook groups for veterans. Definitely check it out. You'll see that link in the description of my videos here. All right, Keith McCann, 3 days for records of stroke and Blue Button reports. Yeah, 3 days. It's definitely not instant. And for certain it'll be there after 30 days. But again, MMVet, talk to your primary care directly, okay? There's definitely no harm in that. Jimmy Williams, I have my CMP exam 09 for CFS, which is chronic fatigue syndrome, and chronic migraine headaches, both secondary to insomnia. Okay, see, now the dog won't leave me alone. Okay, good luck to you, Jimmy. I will say this, anytime veterans ask me about CMP exams, I always have them really go to Google and 38 CFR and just type in chronic fatigue syndrome 38 CFR and look at how the VA rates that. That'll help you just get you in the mindset of how the VA is going to rate. Oh, guys, thank you so much. Seriously, I appreciate it more than you guys know. And I will say this, for donations, all of it goes back to the YouTube channel. My wife and I are very blessed, and it just pays for things. Okay, for instance, the Premier Pro subscription is like $31 a month. Lights, desks, keyboards and mouses, stuff like that. So thank you, I appreciate that very much. Rob Lethican with $20, JBib with $5. He says, thanks for doing this kind of thing. Have you ever heard of 2 letters from people you served with in lieu of documentation or anything like that? I assume you're talking about buddy letters, okay? Buddy letters, you'll really see buddy letters shine, or lay statements, the 10-210. They will shine when they support medical evidence that's already there, and it just helps the VA kind of read between the lines on how these symptoms affect your day-to-day life or that this event occurred. Now, I say that because that's what I prefer, but according to supplemental claims, personal statements and lay statements can be new and relevant evidence. And so I wouldn't say in lieu of, okay? Without evidence, you're just going to be denied straight out. But it's better than nothing, okay? Let me know if I answered your question, especially because you donated. Ask that question again if I didn't answer it, and then I'll try and do my best. But lay statements do have a place. They do help your claim. And honestly, I would submit a personal statement with every single thing that I claimed. All right. Going to fake bread. Yeah. My mental health examiner said I should be getting 50%, but if it's lower, he said to appeal. Okay. That is kind of, I'm not going to say odd, but it is a little weird that your examiner said you are going to get 50%, and if you don't, to appeal. But I think it's good news, okay? That means that your examiner understands how the VA rates, at least at a minimum concept. That's definitely better. That's a good CMP examiner, probably. And when he asked if I had suicidal thoughts, I said no. When I really do, would raise the VA eyebrow. Okay, so when he asked about suicidal ideations or suicidal plans, you said no, but you really do. I will say that is a key factor in going from 50% to 70%. So you definitely held back on your symptoms there. Do I think you should have said that and told the examiner? Absolutely. Do I understand that might be difficult for you to do? Yes. Okay. Mental health is serious. It wouldn't be a bad idea to submit if you feel more comfortable submitting a personal statement right now with your claim, you can do that and kind of explain your symptoms that way. But it definitely sounds like 50% is up your alley. And if you wanted to pursue your suicidal ideations as a symptom, one, talk to VA healthcare and get help, or private healthcare, just get help. And two, that can be used as evidence. Okay. Fake bread. All right. Another donation, guys, off the rip. Juan Rosado. Hey man, thank you. Thanks, Juan. I appreciate it. Juan was one of the veterans I helped one-on-one. Brother, I appreciate the donation. Seriously, guys, all this stuff goes back to the channel, I promise. Okay. Juan, I hope I was able to help you during our one-on-one. Let me know. Let everyone else know if I did. Okay. I would appreciate that. Okay, my mouse is going crazy right now. John Sullivan, can alcoholism be a disability? I went to VA alcohol treatment and patient program 3 months after service. Had a couple of DWIs. Okay, that definitely sucks. Sorry about that. It was written on my VA hospital problems and alcoholism. It can. Substance abuse, alcoholism can be. You'll mainly see that as a symptom, as like a self-medication, a form of self-medication for mental health. So if you have a mental health disability, there's no reason you would claim that, okay? Because it's just a symptom. It's kind of like being, it's the same thing as being obese, okay? If you have someone that's morbidly obese, that they are obese as a result because of service for whatever reason, obesity is just a symptom of something else. And the VA will recognize that. I've seen various decision letters on being obese saying, hey, this is not a disability, but we do recognize this is service connected, and it's probably linked to something else, right? Like having lower lumbar strain, having knee pain, stuff like that. And the alcohol version of that is probably mental health. It could be other things too, okay, like migraines. It could be back pain, neck pain, insomnia. It could be some other things, so I'm just kind of speculating here. But I assume you have a mental health rating. It's probably connected to that. So let me know, John. Give me some more information. I can give you a better answer on that. All right, Jimmy Williams, you will keep me posted on Dr. Sharma did the DBQ and the Nexus medical opinion. Hey, awesome. Yes, Jimmy, let me know. I want to know, for those of you that actually reached out to Dr. Sharma for DBQ and the IMO, let me know. I'm a huge fan of accountability, okay? So if I say something that hurt you, I want you to let me know, okay? Same thing for Dr. Sharma. If you go with Dr. Sharma, right, and your claim's denied, I want to know that, okay? That's something that the community needs to know. And on the flip side also applies, okay? If I help you, if Delkay Graham helps you, if Dr. Sharma helps you, let us know, okay? That feedback, that accountability loop is crucial to success, all right? So we definitely want to know that. J-Bib, brother, thank you so much. All right, Super Haram, no question, just a brag. I got my DBQ and IMO from Dr. Sharma, and he's stellar through and through. Hey, I appreciate that, man. I will tell you this, and Miss Stephanie, when I say Miss Stephanie, I'm talking about VA claims, veterans helping veterans. Miss Stephanie knows I've been trying to create a network of doctors to provide medical opinions, kind of like how VA Claims Insider does it, and how, Vet Guardian and then other claims agents have like these networks. But I'm telling you guys, it is extremely hard to find a doctor that has integrity. I've cut doctors off my list. I've reached out to them. I've had some that refuse to do DBQs, or that's a bad way to put it. They don't want to do DBQs right now, and it's just like, man, it's just not worth it, right? And so I would feel uncomfortable. It would be wrong if I referred veterans to a doctor that I didn't believe in, okay? So appreciate that, Super Rom. All right, Robert Craig. Clay, those 5 GA-generated PACT Act claims mentioned to you a couple weeks ago are apparently being scheduled for CMP exams. Vera couldn't tell me if they would be in person or not. Okay, awesome, Robert Craig. That's awesome. PACT Act, yeah. So depending on your evidence and the PACT Act, right? So as long as you meet the criteria, the service connection is there. If you have the diagnosis, that's there. What they would need is the severity of that diagnosis, right? The severity of your symptoms. You're probably going to have an exam. It's probably going to be in person, unless your symptoms are well documented, and then they can just do a records review and go from there. But hey, I'm glad that's 5 claims, right? That's 5 things. So IBS and GERD, those aren't even PACT Act things. But like rhinitis, sinusitis, asthma, all those, and a lot of cancers, right? Lots of cancers are included under a PACT Act. So Robert, that's awesome, dude. I appreciate that. We have another donation from Greg Davidovich. I hope I said that right. He says, thanks for the advice, Clay, and for the channel. Greg, thank you. Greg was another veteran I met with one-on-one. And I'll tell you this, Greg. One, thanks for coming to the live. And two, Greg was one of the veterans that was well prepared with evidence, knew what he was talking about. It makes it easier for me. I just want to reiterate this, guys. If you do want a one-on-one meeting with me, okay, it's absolutely free. There is no obligation whatsoever. Send me an email. We can talk about that. And if you are going to send me an email for a meeting, I want you to have your evidence ready, okay? I don't need to see your medical records. I just need you to know, hey, I was seen for migraines at the VA, not in service, right? If you could just tell me that statement up front, that will help me and the meeting go way smoother when you're prepared on your end. And the more information I have, the better I can help you. So, David, I hope I was able to help you. Let me know if I did in the chat, and I definitely appreciate that. Okay. Scrolling back up, I don't want to skip any questions here. Okay. Yep, Robert, thank you. All right, B-Buck. I was told by my VSO that Dr. Sharma's DBQs and Nexus letter was the best he's ever seen. Hey, that is great news, all right? Yeah. Robert, donate. Hey, thank you, brother. I definitely appreciate that. One thing I will mention on this is all the donations obviously go back to the channel, but I never want to how do I say this in a smart way? I never want to like become a Nexus letter mill and push something to get money on the back end. I never want to push donations or push, hey, meet with me for $50. I really want to kind of lay the foundation for TheCivDiv because the channel's growing, guys. Okay, the channel's growing, and I do believe in a year the channel will be much bigger as long as we keep staying consistent. And so I really want to lay the foundation of veterans helping veterans, right? Linking Facebook groups together, linking veterans together through various platforms down here that you see. I think that's really the key, right? Not every veteran can use a VSO. If that happened, VSOs would be overworked more than they already are, right? So how can we educate the community to file simple evidence-based claims by themselves? Okay, that's kind of the goal. All right, Michael Morton, among many other goals. Michael Morton says, hey, CivDiv, what's up? What's up, man? You signed up with Del K. Graham. How long does it take for them to start assisting vets? Okay, great question. So if you use Del K. Graham Veterans Foundation as your VSO, that's awesome. You're in good hands. If you don't already have an intent to file in the system, they will, the day you finish your intake form, excuse me, Del K. Graham will send an intent to file out. So, for instance, if you finish your intake queue or your intake form today, it's February, your intent to file will be sent, and your back pay will be your effective date will essentially be March 1st. Okay, and so right now I want to say they're at 8 to 10 weeks to get to you, but they are putting a emphasis on step 1, which is navigating. And so I'm pretty confident you'll be hearing back way before the 10-week mark, but someone will reach out to you. They will go through your claim with you, and they will kind of triage, which is step 2, right? Look at your disabilities, look at your situation, and kind of go from there. So that would definitely happen. All right, Virgil Israel, how do you get in touch with Dr. Sharma? You'll find his email in my description of all my videos, okay? I will say, I do believe Dr. Sharma was shocked by the amount of attention he got on that one live stream, which is awesome, okay? It's a good problem to have, and so I know he has I don't want to say a wait list, because he's definitely scheduling veterans out, but it's not going to be the next day, okay? And so his email, just go to my videos, any of them in the description, you'll see his email, prashant.sharma2@concisepsych.com. All right. LG, hey, what's up, man? Hey, thank you. Yeah. So just so you guys know, in the background, LG had reached out to me today via email, so I'm helping him out. I also met a gentleman. His name is Daniel. Man, I hope that's his name. I don't want to forget his name. Good dude. I can tell he's genuine, okay? He has a lot on his plate, and even with a lot on his plate, he still volunteers to help service members going through the IDES process or the med board. So if you're going through a med board, definitely let me know. I will link you up with him. Okay. There's something in my nose, and I feel weird right now. Okay. John Sullivan with a $20 donation. Brother, thank you so much. I appreciate that more than you know, guys. Thank you so much. Okay. Charles Raby, I hope I said that right. Have 0% right flat foot, 20% left foot. Not bilateral, shouldn't be bilateral. You would need a 10% rating at least on your foot to get that. Holy shit, guys. I try not to cuss on stream, but $50 donation from AJ Baby. Sister, thank you so much. Okay, I'm glad I was able to help. Another veteran that was well prepared when we had our meeting. I'm telling you guys, if you want a meeting and you come prepared with your evidence, you understand your situation, it makes things a lot easier. AJ, thank you so much for that. I appreciate it, seriously. All donations go right back to the channel. I'm not joking at all. I'm almost speechless. I feel like I'm rambling on about this. $50 donation, man. AJ, thank you so much. Okay. Charles, I would look at the increase on your right foot. Okay, if you have any pain there, look at the 38 CFR for pes planus. I believe that's flat feet. Look at the 38 CFR and see if you rate an increase. Okay, file the increase. And if you need help with that, not help with filing the increase, but if you want help on understanding how the VA rates flat feet, send me an email. I'll help you out. Okay. John Erickson. Oh, we have another donation. I'll come back to you, John, from Donald Kwasinski. Hey, thank you so much. I appreciate that, brother. $19.99 donation. Thank you so much. I'm serious. You guys leave me speechless. Every time I see a donation, I just don't know what to say. Okay. All donations go back to the channel. I'm serious, all right? Okay, John Erickson. Do you think pay stubs for the last 6 months showing 32 hours and less for work good enough for migraines? Oh, yeah. I would say more than good enough. I would challenge you to have your supervisor write a lay statement, okay? That would be a very strong lay statement. If your supervisor can say, hey, you know, John Erickson missed this amount of work. He's always taking sick days as a result of his migraines, okay? And that's it. It could be a simple 3-4 sentence, paragraph about you missing work from your supervisor. That would be awesome. What you have right now is really good. You can put that in a personal statement, okay? And file. I assume you're talking about filing for an increase. Migraines is definitely one you want to show months of, okay? The longer you have migraines for over a span of time, the better for your claim. The 38 CFR specifically states, I want to say, it'll say few months or several months, right? So you definitely want to hit the wickets for the 38 CFR. And medicine is big on migraines, okay? If you're taking sumatriptan, which is a very common medicine, you'll see the VA issue for migraines, okay? If you're taking sumatriptan, that's definitely an indicator that your migraines are serious, right? They are prostrating. Okay. Paul King says, can you speak to past VBA decisions and how they can help me when filing a claim? I can, Paul. So I met with a veteran I don't want to say his name or anything, but I met with a veteran who surprised me, and he took the time to look at previous VBA decisions. If you don't know anything with the Board of Appeals, you can Google and you can see the evidence, the case that was made, and you can kind of read through that court case. It's a court case, exactly what it is, okay? And so by studying or reading these appeals, this veteran was able to basically navigate the process almost independently on his own. And then he had scheduled a meeting with me just to kind of double check some things. But absolutely, you can do that. That's definitely going to take some time. Okay. But if you understand how the VA makes decisions, okay, you just apply that to your situation. You understand how the VA rates. You understand the 38 CFR. You understand service connection. You put those together, and that's basically how you beat the system. Okay. But yeah, Paul King, let me know if that answered your question or not. If you want something specific, definitely reach out. Okay. Put it up in the chat. Larry059. Have my appointment with Dr. Sharma Saturday. Can't wait. Everybody's giving that. Yeah. So far, no one said anything bad. Okay. Which is good news. That makes me feel really good. I will tell you this. I kind of mentioned it. I just didn't say it straight out. As I was looking for doctors to work with, I've contacted probably about 15 to 20 of them. Probably 10 got back to me. And only one of them, including Dr. Sharma, or not including Dr. Sharma, only one of them I felt had the integrity to help veterans. So I'm trying to work that out. The only thing is, a lot of these Nexus letters companies strictly worked with VA claims agents and attorneys. So that sucks. All right. Yep, Miss Stephanie, thank you. Yeah, guys, if you guys know an answer to a question, absolutely help veterans out. That's what this is for, okay? Educating one. We educate one veteran. That one veteran can educate their friend and their friend and their friend, and that kind of just grows, okay? I'm serious, our community at large just needs to educate. We don't need to know everything, but if we need to understand the 38 CFR and we need to understand service connection. If the community understands these two things, 10 years down the road, we can seriously make some changes in the VA. All right. Send It Gear, what's up, man? Do I need to go to a doctor first, then I have someone write a Nexus letter? Is there someone I can go to that can help me write a Nexus letter? Okay. I want to pump the brakes on Nexus letters real quick because 9 times out of 10, they're not needed. Okay? And I don't want to become a Nexus letter mill, right? Or basically pushing a product. I don't want to do that at all. But given you need a Nexus, one, I want you to email me. I got tons of questions for you, okay? You probably don't need one. Maybe I can help guide that way for you, okay? You'll hear some veterans talk about going to the ER a lot, especially if it's needed. That's a good way to kind of get quick medical evidence. Obviously, talking to your private healthcare, going through VA healthcare, all of that's medical evidence as well. But I wouldn't go. I would caution veterans going Nexus letter shopping, okay? Because they're not always needed. Simply, they're not, all right? But they do come into play, okay? I would say the DBQ is probably more important than Nexus letter itself. But, yeah. So, Send It Gear, let me know. I want you to send me an email specifically, okay? Are you talking about a gastro issue? Are you talking about mental health? Are you talking about something that a physician or a cardiologist needs to look at? There's many things there. Okay. Virgil, is neuropathy covered under the PACT Act? It is not. Okay. The conditions covered are asthma, sinusitis, rhinitis. Those are the big three. There are a few other conditions. It's not neuropathy. Neuropathy is like nerve damage. But there are lots of cancers covered, okay, which neuropathy could have stemmed from, okay. But neuropathy on its own is not connected. Guys, we have another donation. Oh my goodness. Greg, thank you so much. Greg Davidovich. Thank you guys. Seriously, all donations go right back to the channel. Greg, that's awesome. I appreciate that so much, man. I'm glad when I help veterans, seriously, like when I help them on a one-on-one, I see it in their face. And Greg is one of those ones that I saw it in his face. And it's just, it helps me keep going, you know. Not to get too sentimental, but it definitely helps me keep going. Okay. Greg, appreciate it. Thank you, brother. All right, TK. What should we be analyzing when we get DBQ and Nexus from private doctor like Dr. Sharma or someone else? By the way, great channel, one of the best ones out here. TK, thank you very much. I appreciate that. I'm trying to grow the channel, okay? Help me grow the channel. Like the stream, share the stream, like my videos. That's probably the number one thing. If I could ask my viewers to do is just hit the like button, okay? That lets YouTube know, hey, viewers like this, okay? So help me do that. Let's inform the community. Let's educate the community. As far as your question goes, brother, this is a huge question, okay? I'll answer it as fast as I can. What should you be analyzing when looking at a DBQ and a Nexus? Let's take the Nexus first, okay? If you are getting a Nexus letter, there's 4 big components about this. I have a video scheduled on this, but I'll kind of give you a sneak peek, all right? The who matters. And so if you're going for a mental health condition, in the PTSD DBQ, there's a paragraph that says who can write the Nexus letter. Or, I'm sorry, who can write the DBQ. It's like a board-certified psychiatrist, okay? A doctorate-level psychologist. There's all types of it's a whole paragraph, okay? So the who's important. With that who, a board-certified psychiatrist, so a DO, carries more weight than a psychologist does, okay? On the physician side of the house, a physician is a medical doctor. There's a physician assistant, there's a nurse practitioner. Those are not medical doctors, okay? It's a medical opinion. I would argue go see a medical doctor, okay? You don't have to. You can do it from like a nurse practitioner or a physician assistant. That's fine. You'll win that way too. That's just my 2 cents. So the who matters, the specialty matters, like psychiatry, psychologist, stuff like that. You want the doctor to review your evidence, and not just review your evidence, but cite your evidence in the letter. That's key. Without medical evidence, there is no Nexus, okay? And so what you'll see a lot are companies charging Nexus letters that are writing Nexus letters based on little to no evidence, and basically they're ripping you off, okay? If you don't have medical evidence, it is impossible to have a good Nexus letter, okay? So the evidence matters, citing the evidence matters, obviously, or not obviously, medical studies that support that opinion matter, okay? And then the big ticket item is a Nexus statement. Less likely, at least as likely, or more than likely. There are 2 more. It's not due, which is 0%, or due to, which is 100%. Very rarely will you see those. So less likely means no, okay? At least as likely means yes. In the VA's eyes, it means yes. And more than likely is like a double yes. And so you, at a minimum, want your at least as likely or more than likely. But those are the components of a Nexus letter. As for the DBQ, there's some check boxes on there, like is the appointment in person or is it virtual? If you're looking at like a physician, I'd recommend going in person, okay? If you're looking at mental health, virtual is fine. And so those are some components of the DBQ. Again, reviewing your evidence, that's a component. And then not just checking the boxes on symptoms, but looking at the veteran's evidence and asking them questions based on that evidence to complete the DBQ, okay? So that was a ton of information, brother. I hope that helps. But yeah, I'm probably going to snip that out of the stream and post that as its own video. That helps a lot. All right, guys, we have another. Oh, TK, thank you, brother. $10 donation. Hey, I appreciate that, man. Let me know if that answered your question, okay? If you have more questions, definitely let me know. I appreciate that so much. All right. Jessica Brown. Okay. I've already been talking a lot. Okay. Just reviewed my aid and attendance application. Doctor said I had 5 secondary conditions due to my leg condition, and I needed help with 4. Wondering my SMC rating will be. Oh, okay. Jessica, without looking at your evidence and without asking you more questions, it's impossible for me to answer that question. I will say this. It seems like your exam was favorable, so that's good. Dude, something is up there. Okay. It seems like your evidence was favorable, so that's good. But without more information, I don't know. I can't determine if your aid and attendance SMC will be granted or not. Okay. All right, John Sullivan. Dr. Sharma is writing alcohol to mental health and obesity as mediators to OS. Yeah, exactly. Right. That kind of answers the question previously about substance abuse. There's an underlying condition, just like obesity there's an underlying condition that caused the obesity, and that's where you'll see substance abuse and obesity at. Okay. Okay. Man, remind me to. Okay. Joseph Battiest. I hope I said that right. Really appreciate all you do for us, dude. Thank you so much. I appreciate people coming to my live. I would be heartbroken if I did a live and no one showed up, okay? Every time I do a live, I kind of get nervous because I'm like, is anyone going to show up? Is anyone going to ask questions? So I appreciate that. This is my dog, everyone who didn't see him in the beginning of the stream. Here he is. His name's Cooper. Cooper Duper. Okay. What's up? Okay. Joseph, I apply sleep apnea secondary to back injury, and it was denied. Later fired sleep apnea secondary to PTSD, waiting for a decision. Okay? I will say PTSD is probably the better connection there. It depends on your evidence, okay? Just like the Nexus letter question. There has to be evidence. You know, what does your evidence suggest? That's what makes the Nexus. If approved, will they do an effective date for the first time I applied sleep? No, they won't. Not at all. Okay. Your sleep apnea claim to PTSD is completely a separate, different claim, not related whatsoever. Whatever. He can just chill there. That's fine. Keeps licking my arm though. Okay. All right. Scrolling down. Clung Kenneth. Hi. Just got to know you today. Hey, brother or sister, what's up? Welcome to the channel. I'm glad you made it. You're in the right spot, I promise. Okay. I really try my hardest to, I would say, like, kind of connect with today's veterans. All right. There's a lot of veterans out there that have trouble, that are knowledgeable, that have the information, but they miss the customer service portion. Okay. So I try my best. I'm glad you made it to the channel. Welcome. Okay. I'm at 90%. Want to file for aid and attendance. Okay. My wife helps me with activities of daily living. Any tips how to successfully file? Yeah. So you're gonna aid and attendance is definitely no walk in the park. Okay. It's a very serious SMC, and it can be granted. But what you need to prove is this person helps me on my day-to-day life. The majority of their day is spent taking care of me, and without them, I would not be able to function. So that's what you need to prove, okay? Not just say. You need to prove it. So that's the big thing there. And you prove that with not just, I love seeing AJ's $50 donation up at the top. Thank you so much. Okay. Not just with, your medical evidence and your disabilities, but the amount of time that they spent, activities that they do that you can't do. You have to prove that, okay? All right, Vet. I'm currently 50% for PTSD, 10% for tinnitus, being treated for migraines currently secondary to tinnitus, trying to see what they're documenting for my treatment before I file secondary. I would file now, okay? What you want is in a very perfect world, okay, which you won't see that often. You want whoever's providing the care, I assume it's VA healthcare, but if you can get them to mention your tinnitus causes migraines, that's money in the bank, okay? 9 times out of 10, that's not going to happen. That's what you want. But hey, you're already getting treated for it. You have the diagnosis. I assume treatment means medicine, okay? I would file. There's no reason to wait. I would file now and get on with it. Okay. Donald Kwasnicki. I know I jacked that up. I'm sorry. I'm going to say Donald K. All right. I have PACT Act Service Connection, Desert Shield, Desert Storm for melanoma. Oh, excuse me. Did my CMP exam back in September. Just waiting for my rating. Guess there's a backlog. A backlog would be correct. Okay. There's probably a huge backlog. I will say, just from looking at Reddit and Facebook groups, claims are moving along. Okay, which is good news. But there's definitely some sort of backlog. I have no idea what that is. All right. Fred Christie says, howdy. Hello to you. Oh, okay. All right. Thanks for coming. I appreciate that. All right. Finally got down to AJ Baby's comment. Hey, thank you so much. I'm glad I was able to help. I appreciate the donation. All right. Gerald Rogers says, what will be required in my CMP exam? I have a heart defibrillator. Gerald, let me know what your exam is for specifically. Let me know what you claimed. Is it hypertension? Is it aortic? Is it something with the valve of your heart? There's tons of conditions. Let me know, okay? Orange remediation. Brother, thank you for joining. I appreciate it. He says, my man Clay, CivDiv's blowing up. Congrats, Jarhead. Hey, appreciate it, Moraine. Yeah, the channel's growing. As it continues to grow, like I said, I want to set my foundation as to actually helping veterans. Like, making YouTube videos is cool. I found an editor that's very cheap, and so I've been pushing videos to the editor so that way I can spend more time meeting veterans one-on-one, okay? And so I'm going to continue to do that, and that's kind of the foundation I want to build this channel on, is actually helping veterans, like a tangible, physical help, okay? Not just saying it on the YouTube channel. All right, Joey Paget, this is Devil Squid Amtracker. I don't know what he's talking about. This is Devil Squid Amtracker telling you I'm pulling my panties up and going into just my local VSO for an upgrade for PTSD to GAD. Okay, GAD is generalized anxiety disorder. Joey, that's awesome. I will say this. If you're having trust issues with your VSO, hey, after that appointment, send me an email, okay? Maybe I can double tap that. Maybe I can give you more comfort, especially with GAD, with your anxiety. If I can comfort you after that appointment, let me know. I'll kind of double tap that. I'll give you my advice. Then you can compare my advice with your VSO's advice, okay? Again, accountability. I'm a huge fan of it. I think VSOs should be accountable. I think CMP examiners, for certain, should be accountable, as well as VA raters, okay? It's insane how many higher level reviews get approved, okay? That shouldn't be a thing. A higher level review getting approved should be like less than 5%. But it's not. I think the last stat was like, I want to say 40, maybe 35% of higher level reviews are approved. And it's just like, it shouldn't have gotten to that point. Okay. APM 91. hey, welcome to the channel, welcome to the stream. If you're service connected, you don't need a Nexus letter. Exactly. If you're service connected, service connection means you have a in-service event, like you were seen by medical, you had a deployment, an accident happened. There's something documented in service to have an in-service event. So in-service event's one, a current diagnosis is another. Current meaning within 1 year. The C&P examiner can also give you a diagnosis, a current diagnosis. The third thing is a nexus, saying this condition is linked to military, or this condition is linked to this other condition that's linked to the military. That's it. That's what you need to win a claim. If you have those three, you'll win. And if you have those three, you don't need a nexus at all. 9 times out of 10, you don't need a nexus letter. I'd say 9.5 times out of 10, you don't need a nexus letter. Okay. Paul King, do you think it would be helpful if I reference those decisions in my claim? Let me scroll back up, Paul King, because I answered a few more questions after that. Okay, can you speak past VBA? If it was, I think as a blanket statement, I would say no, okay? With the caveat of if that decision, if that case is identical to yours, you could if you wanted to, but really make sure that's identical, okay? If there's more evidence that was provided in that case, I think by saying that it would actually harm you. And then we're also assuming that the VA, the rater, is going to take the time to look at that case in the first place. So I'm going to say blanketly no, but if you did, really make sure that case is identical to yours. Orange Remediation with a donation. Orange, I appreciate it, brother. I'm looking forward to our meeting. Don't forget to send me an email right here at TheCivDiv@gmail.com after your meeting with Dr. Sharma. Let me know, and then we'll go ahead and proceed from there. Okay, looking forward to that. Jason Grice, can you get a secondary claim if you injured yourself during a PTSD-induced nightmare? I think you can. You would have to prove it with medical evidence, but absolutely you can. I'll say this. Any condition can be linked to any other condition given the evidence, okay? And so if you had a panic attack as a result of your PTSD and you broke your wrist, okay, in a perfect, like the evidence for that would be, okay, you went to the emergency room, you told them what happened, now there's documentation of you having a panic attack and your wrist breaking, can you claim wrist to your PTSD? Yeah, you can, right? That would be evidence. Now let's say you had a panic attack, you hurt your wrist, but you never talked to anyone about it, you didn't go to the ER, you didn't break it, there's no ligaments, there's no tears there, there's no diagnosis, that would be a scenario of no, you cannot, right? Because you need a diagnosis. You can't just say, hey, I hurt my wrist and expect the VA to take your word for it. Okay, you're definitely going to need documentation there. Okay. Jonathan Explosive. What's up, man? I'm 0% service connected for hypertension. I filed for an increase in November of 22. If I'm granted the increase, could I file a clear, unmistakable error? No, you cannot. Not that far back at all. Unless there was a clear, unmistakable error by the VA, then you could, but with the question and what you told me here, that wouldn't work, okay? One, hypertension is a serious, it's what I call a high-risk disability, okay? Meaning if you have hypertension at 0%, it's a serious disability. Don't let the number 0% fool you, okay? And a 10% hypertension rating is a serious rating as well. So definitely make sure you're seeing healthcare on that side. That's some life-threatening disabilities there, okay? Yeah. Go Greg, yeah. Go Greg Davidovich. Appreciate it, brother. All right, J Weiss. He's answering a question. All right, I love seeing veterans in the chat answering other veterans' questions. Okay. All right. Kevin KP Powers, retired 31 October 21. Hey, thank you for your service, especially for retirees. I didn't retire, I just got tired, right? Diagnosed with TBI on 2nd March 22. Submitted claim on 31 August for TBI within 1 year. Denied service connection on 15 December. PTSD service connected 70% based on TBI event. Higher level review, and now thoughts. Okay, so first, the 1 year thing is mainly for presumptives. TBI is not in the 1 year presumptive thing, but it does give you an argument saying your TBI stemmed from service. Okay. Now, when it comes, you are service connected for PTSD at 70%. So unless your symptoms that are TBI are completely separate and not related to your mental health, like your PTSD symptoms, then that's where you'll see that be graded as 2 different ratings. I will say 8 times out of 10, right? So 80% of the time, I see TBI being roped under PTSD, which is probably going to happen to you. Again, it's on your evidence. So it depends what your evidence is like for TBI. It depends what your symptoms are, okay? But in terms of your higher level review, I think it's going to be favorable, right, with what we've discussed here. And the events that happen. Now, since you are a retiree, I assume you had some serious events happen while on deployment, which, depending on your symptoms, should be a favorable decision. Okay. Marvin Jenkins at Donald K. Hey. Oh, yeah. Okay. He's answering a question. Awesome. Love to see it. Okay. Lou Vega has got 2 questions here. 3 questions. I'll answer all these. Let me take a big drink real quick. Someone always tells me I should drink water. I know that. Okay. I just really like Big Reds. Okay. Question 1. Is there a VA benefit book that's online or in paperback? How would I get back pay for my child who was born in January of 18 and was awarded P&T December 2020? Is this even possible? Okay. First question. Is there a VA benefit book that's online or paperback? I'm going to say yes. Google 38 CFR. Okay. You're going to have to get used to navigating 38 CFR. I personally use the eCFR website. I think that's the easiest one to use. So Google 38 CFR eCFR. Everything the Veteran Benefits Administration does is in there. Okay. There's also another something else you can Google, which is the MTAC21 TAC1 or dash, right? M-21-1. Mainly the 38 CFR though. That would be your VA online book. Okay. As far as your back pay for your child, a follow-on question: when did you submit the claim to add your dependent? Okay. I'll tell you right now, if you did not submit that claim in January of 18, you're not getting back pay. Okay. You can get back pay to the date that you submitted the claim to add dependents. So, for instance, if you added your dependent October 15th of 2020, you could get back pay from November 1st of 2020. Right? That's how that would work. Okay. LG says possibly GERD. Can I do TMJ as secondary to PTSD? You can, LG. Again, it goes on your evidence, okay? Secondary conditions, Nexus letters, all this baloney, it all depends on your evidence. okay? So if your evidence suggests TMJ is secondary to PTSD, yes, you can. If it doesn't, guess what? The next step is to go get evidence that suggests TMJ is secondary to PTSD. That doesn't have to be a Nexus letter, okay? Talk to your primary care. Talk to your private doctor. Talk to whoever you want to talk to kind of make that link with medical evidence. I will tell you this, GERD and PTSD are closely correlated, especially if you are part of OIF, OEF, OIR, Desert Seal, Desert Storm for the old timers in the chat, right? No offense. But GERD is closely related to PTSD. I would also look at IBS, irritable bowel syndrome. That is, IBS has a better correlation to PTSD than GERD does, and GERD and IBS share the same rating anyways, so I would look into that. Okay, Lou Vega, I forgot your third question, I apologize, here it is. How can you determine if you are eligible for the American Home Act? Oh, that's it, that is a question. Okay, I'll be honest with you, I have no idea. I would have to look at the American Home Act. I would have to understand that to determine if what the eligibility criteria is. I'm willing to bet if you Googled, am I eligible for the American Home Act, you can kind of find that information. I don't know off the top of my head, and it'd be ill-advised if I speak on that, okay? So I'm going to do a pass on that one. Number 4, property tax exemption, credit. How and what do you have to do if you're P&T? This question I can answer. And so property tax exemptions is through your state, okay? You can go through the DMV for your property tax for your vehicle. You get one primary vehicle. Well, it depends on state, right? Most states are one primary vehicle. And then as far as your mortgage, like your home, again, this depends on state. For instance, I live in Virginia. Virginia is like, it's up to a certain amount you can claim no property tax on, okay, or like an acre amount. I think it's 3 acres in Virginia. I think. I don't have 3 acres, so it doesn't really apply to me at all. But it's up to your state. You do that through your mortgage company, and in the county office, okay. All right, Kevin KP Powers, many symptoms outside PTSD. Oh yeah, for your TBI. If that's the case, you have TBI, you have the in-service, I'm assuming you have the in-service event, that's what the PTSD came from. I think your higher level review is going to be favorable. If not, save the decision letter. That's going to be key. And depending on what your symptoms are for TBI, that would be something worth that could actually push you up to 100%. How do you prove tendinitis? I'm going to change your question, just floating through. How do you prove any disability? Okay, in this case, we'll use tendinitis. Step 1, talk to your doctor about your symptoms, about when it occurred, how it affects your life. All that stuff is medical evidence. That is, nothing beats medical evidence, okay? I have a video, it's called like Medical Evidence is King or something like that. Nothing beats medical evidence. A CMP examiner can't refute medical evidence. The VA can't refute medical evidence. No one can refute medical evidence. Now, I say medical evidence because if that evidence came from a nurse practitioner or a psychologist, okay, it's still medical evidence, but it's kind of down here on the totem pole versus like a physician and a psychiatrist, right? These are medical doctors. These are not. And so how do you prove I had tendinitis? Talk to your doctor. Talk about your symptoms. You might be given x-rays. They'll look at that. They'll diagnose you. They'll put you on a treatment plan, physical therapy, medicine. All of that is how you prove conditions, how you prove disabilities. At least the diagnosis part. You still got to prove service connection with the in-service event and the Nexus, right? Okay. Rocket off. What are my chances of a mental health increase from 50 to 70? Well, Rocket, to answer that, I would have to, I'll give this to you as an option. If you feel comfortable with talking to me about mental health, send me an email, right? We'll schedule a meeting, and I can give you a better answer on that. I'll show you the DBQ. In fact, you can Google it right now. If you Google DBQs VA, click on the first link, you'll see all the DBQs. There's one for, you said mental health. There's one for mental health. There's one for PTSD as well. You can look at that and look at the symptoms listed out very plainly in plain language there. And that's what we'll do if you contact me for the one-on-one meeting, okay? I can give you a better answer on that. Is it possible? Yes. But you're going to have to prove that. Lou Vega, hey, $10 donation. Brother, thank you so much. I hope I answered your questions. I know I missed out on the American Home Act. That's just something I just don't know, okay? Okay, Kevin, KP, yep. Teet, hey, Teet, longtime fan, I appreciate it. Simplify. All right, Ron, I was just awarded SMCK for ED for in-service emergency circumcision back in 85, okay? And ED filed were, we have a continuation here. Secondary conditions filed were chronic kidney disease, gout, sleep apnea, anxiety. VSO filed all 4 conditions to anxiety, which were deferred. VSO has filed secondaries to ED. Okay, so deferred doesn't mean denied. It just means they need more time, okay? I hope your VSO didn't refile those secondaries to ED. That would be a stretch, okay? I hope that didn't happen, right? Definitely send me an email. I want some clarity on that, because if your VSO refiled the supplemental or the secondaries to something new before even getting the decision and it's to ED, I'm willing to bet my life your medical evidence doesn't suggest your ED causes those, and so that is not good. Okay, definitely send me an email, brother. I want to help you. Okay, Orange remediation. Should I file my aid in attendance form and TDIU at the same time? I'll tell you this, Orange. If you have the evidence to file. You can file 3 things at a time. You can file 40 things at a time. If you have the evidence, file. Even if it's aid in attendance, TDIU, and more claims, file them all if you have the evidence. So yes. All right, Fody, thanks for the hand emojis. Appreciate that. Alan Wade. All right, it's 8:10, everybody. I'll probably do a hard cutoff at 8:30, so we'll have 20 minutes to get through as much as we can, all right? Alan Wade, after requesting CD of records, so your C file, is it possible to go through additional appointments and add that information? Yeah, so that'll be in your C file. That C file is going to take, I believe, 8 months is the average from what I've seen. Excuse me. But yes, it will be in there. I have 3 more months until I'm eligible to enter the BDD program. Oh, brother. Okay, scratch what I said. I didn't realize you're active duty. 1, you're ahead of the game, okay? As far as your medical records in the military, yes, it'll be added. That's super easy to get. You can do that at your medical facility or through TRICARE Online. I will say this. I'm going to challenge you, Alan Wade. When you're at that 180-day mark, I want you to send me an email. I want you to schedule a meeting, okay? I love dealing with veterans on the BDD process because it's so easy, okay? It's much easier to claim disabilities connected to service while you're active duty versus while you're not, okay? So definitely hit me up. I will help you. I'll at least talk to you about it. You can use a VSO if you want, or do it yourself, your choice. Okay, John Erickson. 50% sleep apnea, sinusitis, diabetes, right arm, left arm, denied IBS and GERD. What would be the best way to link IBS and GERD? I want to know if you have any mental health disabilities. It doesn't say you do, okay? I wonder if GERD could be connected to sinusitis and how big of a reach that would be. I'm not a medical doctor. It's out of my lane, okay? I don't know if IBS and GERD would be secondaries to any of those. Maybe sleep apnea, maybe. I don't know, that might be hard. Send me an email, John. I want to do some more research on that and reach out to a few experts on IBS connected to sleep apnea. That makes sense in my head. I just want to make sure before I give you that solid word, okay? So as of right now, let's defer that decision. All right. Yeah, OBX SOCOM. Hey, if you have a question, send it over. Don't wait to ask. There are tons of questions in the chat. I try to get through as many as I can, okay? Brian Marcus, hello from OKC. Hey, what's up? What's up? OKC's right next to Del K Graham. All right, Alan Wade, 95 PNT, or does it need to be exactly? No, Alan. Just like John Erickson said, 90 at 5%, it'll be rounded up. So 95 is 100. The PNT comes into play when we talk about static disabilities. So your static disabilities have to add up to 100. That's what makes the PNT. Okay, you can be 180% disabled, but not have any static disabilities. Obviously, that's an extreme case. That's not. I don't know anyone that has that scenario. But if you have no static disabilities, you're not PNT. Okay, you'll be 100% scheduler or combined. Okay. Yeah, KP. I definitely assumed it was from Iraq, Afghan, from your TBI. Your HRR should be favorable, right, given the symptoms. All right, OBX SOCOM. I had a CMP exam, mini exams that day. Yeah, the VA will usually lump all of them, well, as best they can. The VA does not have to report or opinion note any advice. Yeah, I'll tell you this. The number one thing I hate about the VA is they keep your information hard for you to get. If you want your C file, it's going to take you 9 months. If you want to see your CNP examiner's notes, you got to go through your VSO. You got to go through VBMS. You got to go through your C file. If that exam's done by the VA, which is very rare in my opinion, then the CNP exam will be on your blue button, but most aren't, okay? And so I hate that about the VA. And to answer that question, dude, there is no way. I'm sorry. If you use the VSO, they have access to VBMS. That's the system the VA uses to kind of go. It's the claims process. VBMS is the system VSOs use to file claims. They can see everything in there. That would be the best way. All right, Kevin KP, we have a $10 donation with a super sticker. I don't make the animations to these stickers, just so you guys know. They're wild to me, but it's funny. He's rolling around. All right. Hey, KP, I appreciate it. I do think your higher level review is going to be favorable based off of what we discussed here. You have the in-service events, an Iraq deployment, TBI. I'm assuming that's a very serious incident. 1, thank you for your service. Okay. And 2, as long as your symptoms are different from TBI, you should be good. I'm curious as to who did your CMP exam. Was it a psychologist? Was it a board-certified psychiatrist? Okay, because I've seen some absolute wild statements from psychologists. Okay, psychologist is just someone who got. I don't want to say just someone, right? I'm not downplaying them. They're way smarter than I am. They know what they're talking about, but they're not a medical doctor. They just have a doctorate in psychology, right? Versus a psychiatrist, a board-certified psychiatrist who went to med school, who is a medical doctor. It's different, okay? If I had to take a guess, your CMP exam was with a psychologist, so a higher level review was probably the right move. All right, Brian Marcus. If a CPAP diagnosed is 5 years old, will you need to take another sleep study? Yeah, you're going to need a current diagnosis within 1 year. The VA wants that diagnosis to be within 1 year, so you're probably going to have another sleep study. I will say this, if you are claiming sleep apnea, you want to get on that. If you have asthma, you want to get on that too. Just for the future, I don't want to really talk about all of that, but I would cross that bridge. All right, B-Buck. I've been logging my migraines with an app on my phone. Absolutely. The Migraine Buddy is definitely a good one. It actually surprised me how often I have them. Yeah. I intend on submitting this evidence with my claim. Is this a good idea? The Migraine Buddy app, exactly. Yes, it is a good idea. B-Buck, I would submit that with a personal statement. VA Form 21 TAC 4138. Or just Google personal statement VA. It's Form 4138. You can submit that. Use via quick submit or with your claim when you do claim the increase on migraines. Okay. But yes, absolutely. And you want to show not just, hey, I've had migraines these days. You want to show the symptoms when you have a migraine, how long it lasts for. Are you sensitive to light, noise? How long did it last? What does it make you feel? Are you laying down? How long are you out for? Is there any task you couldn't accomplish? Okay, do you have kids that you can't take care of because you have a migraine? All of that would be juicy information in a personal statement. Guys, we have another donation. Robert Rodriguez, brother, thank you so much. With the my arms aren't as big as they used to be because I haven't worked out since I've been out. But I appreciate the super sticker. Thank you so much, guys. All donations go right back to the channel. I appreciate it. All right. Juan Rosado, I thank you for all the help and information you're providing all of us. That one-on-one meeting is definitely a big help. Hey, brother, I'm glad I could help you, okay? And if you need another meeting, just let me know. I'm here. I'm going to be adding times on my one-on-one meetings. Maybe like a week or two in advance. I think if I did longer than 2 weeks in advance, I would be canceling a lot of appointments. I do have a day job. I have 3 kids. Okay, I travel a lot for work. And so I want to avoid canceling appointments. So if you need a one-on-one appointment, send me an email and constantly check my invite link for a time that works for you. If there are 0 times that work for you, just tell me in the email and I'll do my best to kind of fit you in, okay? If I have to wake up at 6 in the morning one day, I'll do that. I just ask that you come prepared, okay? And I also ask, I didn't really want to bring this up, but it kind of got under my skin the other day. If you set an appointment with me, just show up, okay? Just be there. I'd appreciate it if you didn't ghost me. Because if you don't show up to that appointment, it just takes time away from a veteran that would have shown up, right? So come prepared, show up. That's all I ask for, okay? All right. Jimmy Williams, can you explain the difference between a Nexus letter and an independent medical opinion? Yeah, so those are the same thing, okay? A Nexus letter is an independent medical opinion. They're one and the same. What you'll see that's different is people talk about a Nexus and a Nexus letter. Those are different, okay? You'll see a Nexus on like a DBQ. There's a little box at the bottom of the DBQ for the Nexus statement. You'll see the less likely, at least as likely, or more than likely, okay? That's the Nexus. Hey, this condition is caused by service. These symptoms are caused by service. A Nexus letter, okay, multiple pages long, talks about who's writing it. It talks about your evidence. It cites your evidence. It cites medical studies, and it has the Nexus letter, and it cites your evidence continuously throughout that letter. That's a Nexus letter, okay? Those usually come, if you're buying a Nexus letter, you're probably going to get a DBQ with that. I would say if you don't get a DBQ, go somewhere that gives you a DBQ, okay? But that's the difference, Jimmy. Hope that helps. All right. Faux Strawberry, okay? Question. So my VA doctor won't write a Nexus letter. Yep. My private physician won't write one either. Where do I get one from? Oh, man. Send me an email, okay? You more than likely don't need one And before I recommend a Nexus letter, I want to talk with you first to make sure that you actually need one, because they are expensive, okay? And I want to make sure you have the evidence for a good Nexus too. So send me an email, Strawberry. I'd appreciate that. But instead of asking them to write a Nexus letter, ask them to fill out the DBQ, okay? It's much easier. It's much faster. And if you have a relationship with your private physician, that is a much easier task for them to do for you. They might say no. Okay, if they do, send me an email. We'll talk about if you need one or not. All right, Ian Burke. I had an in-service event. The hospital told me I got poisoned, but there's no evidence that I'm aware of unless there's secret documents in my service connection. When was that? What medical evidence are we talking about? Are we talking about in the military? Are we talking about at the VA? You can look through your records and your doctor visit is in your records. I want to know what was annotated during that visit, okay? Guys, it's 8:20. We have 10 more minutes. I'm trying to get through as much as I can. All right, here we go. LG, with me being 50 for flat feet, can I do my knees and back secondary? You can. As long as your evidence suggests your knees and back have developed a condition as a result of your flat feet, you absolutely can do that, okay? I wouldn't push you for a Nexus letter just yet, but every time you go see medical, you go to your primary care, just say, hey, my feet hurt, my knees hurt, my back hurts. My feet hurt, my knees hurt, my back hurts. Build that link for the VA with evidence. Okay. Joseph Rottenberry, I'm looking to file a claim for back. Should I go for primary or secondary? Medical board references back strain was denied in the past. Second would be to the knee that's been replaced. Which way to go? Joseph, again, what does your medical evidence suggest? The first thing I would do is talk to your doctor, okay? See what their opinion as to what causes your back pain, all right? And then from there, take what your medical evidence suggests, and you can kind of push your doctor to that conclusion, saying, hey, my knees have been hurting a lot, and then now my back hurts a lot, right? That's kind of how you could suggest that. It's not a one-time visit. It's going to take multiple visits, okay? If you pull your back seriously, you pull your back, you have to go to the ER. Go to the ER and say, hey, my knees were hurting, I pulled my back. That's a very rudimentary example of kind of building the link for the VA. Sabrina Spot asking about CMP exams for flat feet. Sabrina, I have a short. It's like 50 seconds long. It talks about how the VA rates feet. Flat feet's a part of that. Definitely check out the short. It's very, very quick. All right. Eating with Nay. If I got diagnoses for fibromyalgia from active duty, will they try to say that I'm pyramiding if I make claims separately for all the symptoms of fibro? Yes. The VA rates symptoms instead of disabilities, okay? There's like rating codes. Each disability has a rating code, and that's what the VA actually rates. And with that rating code on the 38 CFR is a list of symptoms, okay? And so disabilities, conditions that share symptoms will be pyramided, okay? Unless you can differentiate the symptoms, like this symptom is PTSD, this symptom is TBI. That's not always easy to do. Okay. LG, I know we talked about GERD being secondary to PTSD. Think I can add TMJ too. Absolutely, LG. Again, what does your medical evidence suggest? Okay? If you're grinding your teeth, you have dental issues because of your PTSD and your anxiety and your panic attacks, absolutely, that could be connected. All right, Ian Burke, what can I do about an in-service event that was not properly documented. I hate to see this one, man. Lay statements describing the event, okay, from people you served with, whoever, okay. That would be my number one advice, because even if there's a shredded evidence that this event occurred, a lay statement can help fill that gap, right? It can support the evidence that's there and kind of give the VA a bigger picture. Okay. OBX SOCOM, what are your options if the VA never received my CMP exam? It's been 6 months. I'd like to see DBQ and opinion notes. Yeah, brother. Your options are to request your C file and or go through your VSO. I'm actually going to switch those. Go through your VSO first. Ask to see the CMP exam notes. Your VSO has access to the CMP examiner's notes. I promise. Okay, don't let them tell you they don't. But if you can set up that appointment, take some of their time and see those notes, absolutely. You've been waiting 6 months. There's a backlog, especially with the PACT Act in January. That backlog continues to grow. Okay, so don't sweat the time too much. But 6 months down the road, you'll probably get a decision at some point. Okay. Next Level Cash. Hey, thanks for joining, brother. What's up, man? All right. Mr. Yodi, 2007. I got diagnosed for tinnitus, but was not service-connected, although I was 19 days in the Army, heavy-duty local. How long ago did you leave service? Okay. I'm assuming this is more than 1 year out. I want to know how long you left service, because if it's like 20 years ago, you're going to need to show chronic and continuous. All right, everyone's answering questions. This is awesome. All right, Robert says, as regards to property tax, my late father, a two-tour Vietnam grunt, yut, 100%, his real estate tax exemption passed to my mother. Hey, that's awesome, okay? Survivor's benefits are something I'm not an expert in. I wouldn't feel comfortable talking about that, but I do know that if your disability causes your death, your spouse and families are entitled to benefits, okay? All right, 2 more minutes. 2 more minutes. I want to make sure that the donations got answered. Okay, hey, we did pretty good. We're almost at the bottom of the questions here. This is good. All right. I challenge someone to donate a battery for the smoke detector. Oh my goodness. That's probably upstairs. See, if my wife was home, she would have told me to change it. But she's not, so I just deal with it. It's my tinnitus, I guess. I don't notice it. Robert, I'm going to change I'll change my smoke detector, okay? That's funny. Next week, guys, Miss Stephanie from VA Claims, Veterans Helping Veterans, also runs a Facebook group. I highly recommend you join her Facebook group. I also created a Facebook page. It's brand new. Go ahead and like it. Show me some love on there. But she will be on sharing her personal testimony on sexual trauma that she experienced. It's going to be very heavy. I'm expecting a great episode, a great stream from that, okay? Also, as we do that, I wanted to test something out that I totally forgot to test out. But she will be doing that. She'll be giving that testimony, talking about sexual trauma, talking about her journey to VA disability. I'm definitely looking forward to that, okay? And follow me on the socials down here, YouTube, TikTok, Reddit. Hey, look, I wanted to test out to see if I could switch through frames, because I'm going to be switching frames next week from myself and from Miss Stephanie, okay? But I'm looking forward to that, okay? Guys, if I didn't get to your questions, I want you to come back to another stream, okay? Send me an email. If you want a one-on-one meeting, hit me up. Follow me on all the socials. I appreciate that, okay? Again, for the donations, guys, thank you so much. All donations go back to the channel. Editing, lights, cameras, subscriptions to software. All this stuff costs money, and I'd appreciate it if I didn't have to pay out of pocket. So I appreciate the donations, guys. Seriously, it means the world to me. My wife would probably smack me if I was spending, $400 a month on some YouTube stuff. So I appreciate that so much, guys. Thank you, and